Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an all-new reaction and review. Tonight, guys, I am closing out this month's run of Leprechaun films. Yes, it's high time I finished off this Leprechaun four-pack here. Tonight's movie came out in 1997, and its title is Leprechaun 4 in Space. I know I've been sort of hinting that I've been dreading this one, and there's a reason. It's normally a rather well-established rule. If your franchise started off terrestrially and goes off into space in a sequel, that's normally when your series flies way off the fucking rails. Happened with Jason X, happened with Hellraiser 4. Mind you, I kind of enjoyed Jason X and Hellraiser 4, but this series, the best Leprechaun film so far has been Leprechaun 2, and even that one kind of sucked. So I don't think that taking our evil little leprechaun and shooting his green ass into space is gonna fix the problem. But who knows? Perhaps maybe this one will surpass Leprechaun 2. I don't know. And the only way to find out is if I shut the fuck up, I quit stalling, and I push play. I really don't want to, but I'm gonna have to. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Leprechaun 4 in Space. You know, guys, I would like to say right now that even by 1997 standards, the CG in this movie is absolutely fucking hideous. I just kind of wanted to share that now because I have a feeling I'm in for a hell of a lot more of it as this movie goes on. Okay, so the lesson here is if you piss on a severed leprechaun leg, will cause said leprechaun to basically explode out of your dick. Wow. That was fucking disgusting. It was totally like gore free, but god damn it, that was fucking sick. So Dr. Mittenhand is part, Dalek. Okay. I did not totally expect that, but frankly I was kind of expecting something. I really wasn't expecting part of a humanoid torso on top of a Dalek body, though. That's kind of fucked up. So the reason why Dr. Mittenhand is now mostly fucking Dalek looking is because he wanted to create a human-computer hybrid. And instead of using like a hobo or something as the test subject, he used himself. You do understand that makes him probably the stupidest fucking doctor in the history of film, right? Who the hell would fucking conduct an experiment that inherently flawed and stupid on themselves? Also, how the fuck would you even accomplish doing such an experiment on yourself? You'd probably have to be under anesthetic, and I'm not even going to think about it. No. I am not going to fucking dwell on it. It's just going to make my head hurt, and it's going to make me despise this thing even more than I already fucking do. Wow. That was quite possibly some of the most unnecessary, gratuitous nudity I've ever seen in any movie ever. And god damn it, you know what? She honestly was sort of hot, but god damn it, I would have loved it if there was some honest-to-God justifiable context to it. No, she just goes and like takes off her top and says, "Behold, behold your doom," buttons up and walks away. What the fuck was the point to that? You know, folks, even though the leprechaun is now about 45 feet tall, he still is not imposing or threatening in the slightest. And he still is not in any way likable, which is kind of shocking considering this character and this franchise, but... Oh, and of course he has to check to see that he has a giant dick now that he's 45 feet tall. Yay, it's really good to see the writers are going right for the pinnacle of taste with their writing. Oh, God. Fuck this movie. Thank fuck it's done. Well, guys, that was Leprechaun 4 in space. God, that was fucking shit. Alright. Hang on. I need to try to mellow out here a bit. That was shit. Well, mellow out, and I've also gotta try to wake up because that ending was so, or rather, the last like 10 minutes or so of this movie was so fucking bad. It was almost putting me to sleep. All right. Well, let's start with the writing. It's really sad when you have a character who only has a couple of very, very noticeable defining traits, and you have almost none of it in your movie, because the Leprechaun in this franchise has a very small number of very defining features that make him who he is. Number one, he is a leprechaun. Number two, he's played by Warwick Davis. Number three, he has an almost fetishistic love for gold. And number four, he loves to speak in a limerick rhyming scheme. The only things that are still there are he's a leprechaun and he's played by Warwick Davis. The two big ones, the big boner for gold, and the speaking in rhyme, totally gone. Well, not totally. Right towards the end, they happen to fucking remember, oh yeah, he has a thing for gold. So all of a sudden now he's out looking for gold, even though for the entire film his big goal was not to get the gold that was taken from the cave. No, it was he wanted to get back with the evil princess so they could take over her homeworld. That literally was his entire motivation for 99% of the movie. And then at the very end, he makes this offhand mention of wanting to get back his gold to find out that they shrunk it when they were getting ready to take off. It's really fucking stupid. And I'm going to say, even though it has nothing which makes the leprechaun leprechaun, he is still the most developed character in this entire movie. The only reason why I even know the names of characters like Styx and Books and Mooch is just because they say them so many times, including Mooch, who's only alive for a short amount of time. And of course, you know his name is Mooch because he's always trying to mooch shit off of everybody. Yay. So yeah, every other character here is absolutely flat and lifeless. Nobody has any fucking level of depth. You are either a meathead, brainless Marine, or you're a brilliant scientist. And of course, then those sort of break down even further where you're either a brainless meathead nutjob Marine, or you're halfway decent Marine, or you're a brilliant scientist, or you're a brilliant douchebag scientist. That's it for depth. This movie had maybe a cast of, I would say that 12 is probably shooting a little high, but let's just say 12. And you have those four character types as well as the leprechaun and the evil fucking princess. So really, a whole lot of these characters are playing fucking double. I mean, a whole lot of these like character types are playing double fucking duty, because you have to have more than one character who has the same kind of defining traits but has no other personality beyond that. So, of course, our characters have no fucking depth, which also means that the dialogue is ridiculously flat and kind of shitty. This thing, I swear to God, this whole movie almost felt as if somebody were told to write a Leprechaun film which was set in space, and they asked a person who had not seen a single Leprechaun movie before that and had no clue what the fuck the character or the movies were like. So we get this thing which feels absolutely different from every other Leprechaun film, and that is not a good thing. That, guys, is probably like the worst thing you could have done, was taking this character who was really at least decent in the second film, and just launch him into space because you apparently had nothing else to fucking do with him. They could have had an entire movie where he was, I don't know, maybe in fucking Ireland. And I know that the 5th and 6th movies have him in fucking Compton. It's like, you didn't have to go to space. And, by the way, no, at this point, I have no intention of covering Leprechauns 5 or 6. Fuck them both. As of right now, I don't want to watch any other Leprechaun movies at this point. But I'm getting off track here. So we have a writer who apparently has never heard of the Leprechaun series and never seen a single one of them, and apparently has never heard of character depth either, because, again, everybody's flat and lifeless and shit. So we have that. Then we have the acting. Once more, similar to Leprechaun 3, Warwick Davis is the only decent actor in this entire fucking film, and even he's phoning it in this fucking time. In this film, even his acting sucks, but it sucks less compared to the rest of the fucking cast. It's really kind of sad. So, we have that going now. So we have Warwick Davis is the only decent actor in this entire fucking movie, and even he is phoning it in, which should tell you how bad the script is. Because he was even able to at least take the god-awful script that was handed to him for fucking Leprechaun 3 and do something good with it. Well, not good, but passable. And everybody else is phoning it in even worse. Nobody here gave even half a shit about what was going on. So yeah, acting in this thing is absolutely abysmal. I'd like to talk about special effects. I mentioned earlier, in fact, I think it was like one of the first things I mentioned was that shitty CG. And I'm going to tell you right now, the last Starfighter came out in the 1980s. And it has CG that is leaps and bounds better than this thing, which again came out in 1997. It has CG that would be fucking shameful even in 97. Looks even worse now in 2013. So, we have that. Then we have the makeup effects. So, at one point, we have Dr. Mittenhand, and he is a font of shitty effects. Because when we first see him, he is a half-human, half-fucking, like, Dalek thing. You find out that he was trying to make a human fucking computer hybrid, and it sort of turned him into what he is now. The problem is he only has one functional arm, and you can tell the actor had to take his other arm and to put it behind his back. This is especially noticeable because when they shoot him at one of the first times, they are at an angle, and of course camera's farther out than mine is, and you can see him wiggling his fingers on his other hand behind his back. And that was just... Now that also was just poor like camera, placement. But for all of the wide angle shots where they actually have to show him moving, instead it's basically just this gigantic fucking it's just this giant RC model, which has a rubber head, shoulder, and arm on it, and the head's constantly like bobbing like this, as if he has a case of fucking like Parkinson's or something, and it's just kind of passive. It just basically just keeps on wiggling because they didn't bother to put in anything close to a spine to actually keep the head from bobbing around and actually kind of sort of and then actually kind of sort of flopping around a little bit more whenever they had to make the fucking thing turn. Later on, he gets turned into a human scorpion spider crossbreed thing. Don't ask. It's really fucking stupid. And there, the makeup effects are okay. I'm not going to say that they're fucking good, but it's probably the best makeup. It's probably the best makeup, effect in the entire movie. Then we have the sergeant. The sergeant's big gimmick is that he's missing part of his head. Like, this whole part of his head was blown off in a previous war and was replaced with a metal plate, which looks okay, and it does look sort of cool in certain shots, but the problem is that exactly how that plate looks changes from scene to scene, and I'm not talking about like a pattern on the plate. I mean the thickness of the plate, because there are certain scenes where the plate actually looks perfectly, flat against his head, as if it were actually grafted onto his body. And then there's other times where it sticks out about this fucking far. You can actually see it jutting out because they always have to film him like head on. So you see this giant like jut up, which means that they must be using a metal plate about yay fucking thick to cover that big gaping hole in his head. And of course, those shots also occasionally have shots of him from the fucking back, and you see that they didn't bother to glue down all of the fucking application on the back, so it's all kind of peeling up and looks really, really shitty. Everything else, guys, in terms of makeup effects is just laughably shit, because all of it is just really quickly made, like tacked on fucking, like sores and other stupid bullshit. And even in this one, the makeup effects on the fucking Leprechaun even look kind of shitty. Where that honestly was always one of the big like crowning things here. In this one, it looks so cheap. It looks so rushed. It looks like shit. Oh my god, music. I really can't talk about music. I will talk about this though, because I mentioned this also in Leprechaun 3. There are a lot of times when you can see the boom mic, or you can see shadows from the cameraman. You can see a lot of shit here, guys. This is a very unprofessional film, which is sad because the worst you saw in the previous films was a shot or two of a boom mic in Leprechaun 3. This thing here, it just looks so unfucking professional, where the fucking boom mic is showing up constantly, and it just looks bad. It looks hideous. Part of that has to do with the camera work. Part of it has to do with the lighting, which just seems to bounce off that fucking boom mic so well. Frankly, guys, I'm trying to think of a positive for this. The only positive I have is that Warwick Davis's acting is the best out of everything here, but even that fucking sucked. There is not a single positive thing to be said about Leprechaun 4, especially going into the fact that there was no need to put him in fucking space. I also would like to mention, because there's a giant, like, plot hole in this fucking thing. At least I'm going to call it that. When we first meet up with, fucking Books and the Sergeant and the rest of our meathead Marines, they are told that they are on a search and destroy mission for someone or something which has disrupted a galactic mining company's operations and has cost said mining company $500 million. At no point do they ever state if the fucking Leprechaun is the entity which causes this. They just go and they blow him up, and then, they just go and they blow him up, and then somebody goes and fucking, like, pisses on him, and then the Leprechaun grows out of his dick. I'm not kidding. But really, they have that one mention of them going out there and trying to kill this thing which is stopping this mining operation from going into some planet and mining the ever-loving shit out of it. But it's never established if it is the Leprechaun or not, or if they were really supposed to be hunting for something else, and they stopped simply because they found the princess and seemed a little out of place. I don't know, and the writer apparently didn't fucking know either, because he doesn't bother to explain it. I'm also sort of curious about the fact that everybody is smoking in a spaceship, even though you'd think that with all of the concentrated oxygen, with all of the concentrated pressurized oxygen inside the ship, smoking would probably cause the whole fucking thing to explode. But again, that is trying to work logic into a film that doesn't even want to bother trying. This is the laziest movie in this entire franchise, and I really wish that the Leprechaun series would have ended with this. But no, as I've stated, there is a fifth and a sixth. I don't know if I'm ever going to waste the time on them, and as of right now, WWE Films is working on a reboot prequel thing. So, yeah, this series is far from dead, and goddammit, it should have died after the fucking second one. Oh my god, can I recommend this to anyone? No! If you want stupid, shitty horror with a little bit of like a comedic spin, go watch Hobgoblins. Go watch Troll 2. If you really want one that kinda sucks, go for those. Leprechaun 4 is not it. Leprechaun 4 attempts to be funny and fails miserably. It attempts to be a horror film. It fails miserably. It tries to be a sci-fi movie. It fails miserably there. It fails at everything it strives to fucking be, and it's just nothing shy of like disappointing and stupid. So, Leprechaun 4 in Space came off the Amazon.com wish list. The person who sent in this 4-pack, which has helped generate 4 episodes this month, is a YouTuber by the name of Adam the Gamer 2008. And once more, Adam, thank you. I was always really curious about all 4 of these movies, and really, 1 out of 4 ain't bad. But I really don't think I'm going to buy a separate copy of Leprechaun 2, because even that one's not quite worth. That one there was not quite good. It wasn't good enough to own, and these other 3 are just basically tumors kind of sort of growing off it and making it worse. my God, I really wanted to like these guys. I really sort of thought that the whole concept of an evil leprechaun would be awesome. And instead, I got 3 really shitty films and one that is just not quite as bad, but trust me, it's still really fucking bad. Um, but thank God I'm done. I don't have to worry about the Leprechaun films anymore, unless I do Leprechaun in the Hood and Leprechaun Back to the Hood. But I don't think I'm going to be doing those anytime soon. I think I need a break from the fucking Leprechaun. Okay. So, guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.